We are plausibly live from the corner of 75 and 121 here in the great city of McKinney, Texas. Welcome back to another episode of Dynamics Chatter, a very masterful episode, I might say. We're going to do a little golf thing here. We're going to take a little tangent from Dynamics 365, but we're just going to talk about the right data, do something a little fun, and, maybe this can help some of my fellow golfers out there to maybe make a little money, learn who not to bet with, okay? We're going to talk about sandbaggers, all right? So for those of you that don't play golf, we actually have to enter our golf scores in. So these are the last 20 rounds we played. On one side, you see my mother. Okay, on the other side, you see me. All right, these last 20 rounds. I don't really like to talk about this round, just saying. But basically, they take our 10 best rounds, and that becomes our handicap. Okay, so if I played my mom right now, and we went head-to-head, or we're just in a tournament, she would have to spot me at least 5 or 6, maybe 7 strokes. Okay, she's the best player in the family. She's the A, I'm the B, my dad is the D player in the family. So, again, what is a sandbagger? A sandbagger is someone like, if my mom was sandbagging, she might be really a 4 or a 5 handicap, okay, but she's not posting her rounds, so she's carrying a 9.6. I might be more of a 10 or 11, and I'm carrying a 14, okay? That's what a sandbagger is. It's a cheater. You're cheating, you're trying to get a competitive edge, and you're just trying to knock a few strokes off so that when you get into a tournament, you have an advantage, okay? I'm not gonna go a lot into kind of how I made this report, okay? I have I'm gonna put the link under here to the Dropbox folder. I've got step-by-step instructions. I have the report you need to run. I have the connection to the Power BI file. I have the Power BI file itself. And as you can see, I've got all these things right here. If you want it, it's yours. It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty exciting. It's exciting what the power of data can do for you. But not just the data, because we can make data say whatever you want. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about here as we dive into the data. But the right data can really make a huge difference. And hopefully it'll make a huge difference for AJ and I, my producer, when he comes out and plays our member guest. So here we go. Thank you for joining us on Dynamics Chatter, and let's jump in. All right, let's jump right in here. In the comment section of our video, okay, there's a Dropbox link, and it will lead you to this, okay? I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail, but I have the PowerPoint. I also have like the PDF I had talked about. Okay, so here's the PDF, okay? It's got the gen information. The key thing it has here is it's got the link to the report that you need your Golf Pro to run, okay? You need club access to do this, so you get the Golf Pro to run this, okay? If you do it in the same format, it kicks out this file here, you drop it to Excel, okay? And then basically what I have here is I show you how to change a connection and how to connect to your new file, okay? So let me show you how I did that. So if I go back to my report here, okay? When I get the file, it looks like this. Okay, so it's not an ideal format, but I go ahead and do the transformation in Power BI. So I've got the name of the golfer, I've got the score, handicap is just the current handicap right now, the rating and the slope, which I won't go into, but basically the type here, that's the key field. Okay, this type tells us whether or not it's a tournament round, whether it's a non-tournament round. Okay, and that's really what we're going to use as a big comparison. Okay, I got the date of the round, the course we played, and I've got their gen number. Okay. Just because somebody is on this list as potentially a sandbagger does not make them a sandbagger. Okay, really important to know. It's just kind of a good place to start. It's a good place to look. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to kind of go. So now what happens is I go into open up my Power BI desktop file, which is right here. Okay, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to edit query. I'm going to then change my data source. Okay, I already did all the transformation, so you don't have to do cutting up a bunch of Excel to make it kind of a flat table. I already did that in Power BI. So as long as you run the same format, you'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna change the source here, and we're gonna say browse. I'm gonna connect to my file, and then go and connect to your file. Okay, once I do that, I can say okay. Okay, close this, close apply. Okay, refresh, and voila. Okay, your data will now show up. Okay, so what I did here, the first thing I just want to kind of walk you through the data is we'll start at level 3. I took the raw data. Okay, so this is like the raw data. This gen data here. Okay. And this is just kind of that raw information I was looking. But then what I did was I copied the data, or I did it again, I grouped it. So because I wanted a table that had just one record per golfer. Okay, so what I did with that is I created like a first name, a last name, number of rounds they played, number of tournament rounds, number of non-tournament rounds, all the above. Okay. But the other key thing I did here was I felt like I needed to have something that was a validation. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, there was a lot of golfers that they hadn't played any tournament rounds, or they hadn't played any tournament rounds, or or they didn't have enough rounds to really qualify and be included in this data set. Okay. The other thing I did was I created a high risk. So basically, I took the average non-turnaround, okay, and I took the average turnaround. I took the average turnaround, subtracted the average non-turnaround. Anybody that was a negative, anybody whose non-turnaround was significantly lower, 6 strokes or more, I flagged them as high risk. Okay, that doesn't mean they're a sandbagger, but they're high risk of maybe being a sandbagger. Maybe someone you don't want to bet with, or maybe somebody AJ and I are going to bet big on in the parimutuel for our member guest tournament. All right, so I come back here. Now that I got this data, okay, let's just take a look. Okay, so if I come here, I'm just going to look at my high risk golfers here, and again, just because you're on this list, if somebody sees this, does not mean you're a sandbagger. I'm going to explain that here in a second. I'm actually on the list myself, and I'm going to explain why I do not qualify. Okay, so I'm going to take my name out here. All right. So take a look. So, okay. So again, what you can then do is I recommend drilling into this, kind of taking a look at like what their rounds are, what they're doing, like how they've been playing the last month, how they've been playing the last 2 months, and then you maybe make a pretty good wager on that person maybe as it comes time for tournaments. Okay. So sometimes the data lies though. Okay, like sometimes the data is not accurate. So for example, on this here, it's probably unfair of us to look at somebody who probably only has 2 tournament rounds, and in the last 18 months. Okay. So you got to kind of figure out like, but somebody that has maybe a significant number of rounds, maybe is more reliable. Okay, as a potential high risk sandbagger. But let's take a look. I want to kind of I spent a lot of time actually kind of looking at myself because I came in kind of high, which was kind of interesting. If I come in here and I look at myself, just to kind of say that I've never actually probably won a tournament up here at the Stonebridge Ranch Golf Course. But if you take a look here, you notice I came in as like a negative 5.6. Okay, when I started looking at the data, I started pulling this data on January 1st, 2018. I had 3 tournament rounds. 3 of my 5 tournament rounds I posted in January of 2018. Between November and December of 2017, I posted a bunch of really good scores that were lower than my tournament rounds. Okay, those didn't get picked up in this data set. So those 3 low tournament rounds did, but the scores that got me there didn't play golf for about 3 or 4 months. But because of the data and because of the way I ran and the timing, it just shows me as higher than I potentially should be. Just like the other guys that might be on this list. Okay, just kind of a good place to start. Right, so in the words of the best dad in the world, ABC, always be selling. So basically what I did here in the next step is I took these reports, I published them up to Power BI, and then I built a Power app so that I could surface this data. It just makes it easier to give it to friends, people who aren't necessarily using the actual PowerBI.com. Just gives me another platform to kind of give different views and kind of work that way. I just kind of took our Power app that we created for our reporting tool, just kind of modified it. So like basically our reporting tool here, we go to Power Browser. I actually have a workspace that kind of carries this app. We kind of operated in D365. We kind of operated with Power BI, and we created this Power app to kind of bring these 2 worlds together and give people a better UI and a better overall experience. So I could come in here, I could click the GL here. If this is too small, I can always click the purple button, okay, and it'll open up this page. One of my big pet peeves is like, if you're doing a pre-sales demo for me, please do not show me sales data and not tell me where it's coming from. Like, is it coming from sales order lines? Is it coming from all invoices? Does it include credit notes? Does it include free text invoices? Does it include migrated general journal balances? Is it really just the ledger data? Does it have cost of goods sold? Does it have margin? Do not just show me sales, okay? I'll lose my mind. So what we've done in all of our reports using the Power app is we actually have a box that takes you to the base report, base table for every single report we have. So the GL report should always tie out to the GL data. So if we go to the Power BI site, okay, we'll go to the Power BI site here. Okay. Notice I created this app here called Gen Dynamics Chatter. So I just took a copy of my Empower reporting tool, Power App. Okay, it looks kind of similar. I changed the header, just limited it to just a couple of buttons, changed some titles. So basically, if I come in here, here's my high-risk golfers. So again, I've got this filter on. Okay, I can get. It's a lot easier to send this to AJ. Actually already sent it to AJ. He thought it was really cool. He was really excited. He's also excited not to see his name on this list, which was good. But the other thing I did, because I thought it might come in handy, especially if we're at a draft party or we're at like a pari-mutuel or an auction. I can come in here. I just create a little golf lookup, so I could, if I saw somebody and they were, thinking about whether or not I want to bet on them or not bet on them, or play them or not play them, I create a little searcher so I can come in here and I can really search anybody in my my database. So I come here and just say, let's look at my dad here, the D player in the family. So you can see basically I created a little thing where you can see his lowest tournament round, you can see his lowest non-tournament round. You can see number of how many rounds he's played in the last 18 months. You can see his average tournament round versus average non-tournament round. This is really, really more of what you expect. His tournament round is like 2 strokes higher than his non-tournament round. Full disclaimer, please, if you're on the high risk or if you see your name on here or whatever, please don't get mad at me. It does not mean you're a Sandbagger. This data is not complete. This was just kind of a good test I thought would be kind of fun. All right. Again, built this right from our own app, okay, and our own Empower process, which we're very, very excited about, and it's doing really well. Again, data is a powerful thing, but you have to really make sure you understand what that data is. It doesn't matter if it's voucher transactions or if it's the last 18 months of somebody's golf life, okay? You really need to understand what you're looking at. And then from there, we just try to arm ourselves with information so that we can make the very best decisions we can. Thank you for joining us. We've got a big episode coming up next time with Dr. Ludwig, Superman, Clark Kent, Superman Ludwig. We're going to do projects, Power BI. It's going to be a lot of fun. He is great. We might go 2 hours. It's going to be wonderful. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope all 3 of you enjoyed this very special kind of off the beaten path golf episode. Thank you for supporting us, and we look forward to you joining us next time on Dynamics Chatter. Thanks.